All right, well now I have the incredible pleasure of introducing our kickoff speaker. And why not have a kickoff speaker that is from the NFL? And so today we have Frank D. Murphy, and let me tell you a little bit about him. Frank left behind drugs, guns, and jail to win the Heisman Trophy in junior college and played at Kansas State University, where he holds 3 records. Now, I had to ask about this since I don't understand all of it, but he put down jumping, one of his records was jumping 42.5 inches vertical. I mean, wow, is that wow? Think about that, right? That's almost taller than some of us that are here. Okay. And running 4.21 seconds for the 40-yard dash. So he was fast, fast, fast. Now, you know, how fast he is right now, I don't know, but he'll be running up here pretty quick, so. All right. He was one of the fastest to ever go out for the NFL, so that was really something. He played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and 3 other NFL teams, like the Bears, the Dolphins, and the Houston Texans. Since all of that time, in 2009, he started his charity, which is called Mentoring with a Purpose. And this has been an incredible outpouring of giving of himself and assembling other people that are talented as well to give back to the youth, especially in his community and communities all over. So you could go on his website and find out more about that, which was very empowering for me to read. Frank has created a digital mentoring and social emotional learning platform to go to all the juvenile and adult jail prisons and detention centers. Wow. He's a best-selling author of his book, The Man Behind the Helmet. And I'm sure he'll autograph a copy for you. The table is set up out in the entryway out there. And the foreword in that book is by Hall of Fame and Super Bowl winning coach Tony Dungy. His efforts have been well recognized. He's been awarded the JTEP Hero Award and the Hero Award by the NHL Tampa Bay Lightning as the most valuable philanthropist in the sports area. So that's pretty amazing what he's given back. And he's even been a recipient of an honorary doctorate degree in humanitarianism and has been given the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award by former President Barack Obama, and he's been chosen for this year to receive the award from Joe Biden. So we have quite a celebrity with us today. I am excited to introduce him, and I'm sure that all of you are going to be jumping as high as he could jump before when you get all of this fabulous information and motivation from Frank D. Murphy. Come on down.
I'm glad I'm in shape. That was a long walk. This is great. First of all, thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. And you know, man, I wrote some stuff down. I usually don't write stuff down. So that means I'm very excited, motivated, intriguing to be here today. Thank you, Sherry Smith. Thank you for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to motivate, encourage, and empower. That's what I love to do. But before we get started, there's something, you gotta get me hyped. You gotta have me feel good. You know, as if I'm getting ready to play a game and run a kickoff return back. So when I ask you how you feel, I need you to say good. When I say how good, you say so good. If I say 1 clap, 1 clap. 2 claps is what?
2 claps.
Ooh, yeah. So when I ask you how you feel, I need you to be loud. How you feel? Good. One more time, let's start on. How you feel? Good. How good? So good. How good? So good. Give me 1 clap. 2 claps. 1 clap. 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That's what I'm talking about. Now I feel good. Now I'm ready to go. See, I don't want you to know me by the NFL player. They get drafted in the NFL, got records running a 4.21, winning the Heisman in junior college and things of that nature and all those accolades. I want you to know me as the man that never gave up. The man that never quit. Everybody in this room gonna have an opportunity to quit at some point in your life. You're gonna have the opportunity to give up. The question is, will you give up? Will you give up? I like to tell this story before I get started. And everybody, I go all over the world, I speak, I do a lot of different things, and I noticed something. And I began to ask myself, what is the most wealthiest place in the world? I started to think about this. And see, a lot of people think the wealthiest place in the world is Iraq because of the oil, right? Africa because of all the diamonds, or even Dubai because of the buildings. The most wealthiest place in the world is in your neighborhood, in your backyard, which is the graveyard. Frank, why you say that? Because the graveyard got realtors that was going to be great and change the way you do business and motivate others and give back to the community. But you know what? Their purpose went to the graveyard. There's athletes that are supposed to be doing what I'm doing right now, motivating and speaking into the youth, but their purpose went to the graveyard. There's pastors that are supposed to be motivating and intriguing their congregation, but their purpose went to the graveyard. See, and the reason why I'm here, I want to make sure your purpose don't go to the graveyard. Because if your purpose go to the graveyard, you just cheated yourself, but most importantly, you just cheated your next generation. And see, on my watch, when I come around, I want to make sure you don't cheat your next generation. Because I don't want to cheat my next generation. The first thing we have to do before I start speaking, you got to empty the cup. You got to empty the cup. See, a lot of us got a cup that's full of speculations, bad opinions, somebody saying something about you, failures, and you're walking around with that cup. And when someone's trying to put something in there to motivate you, your cup is already full. So I want to encourage you, empty the cup today. Because what I want to give is a motivational speech. I want to give you some wisdom. I want to give you the light of day. So when you go out there and you have to make better decisions, it happens just like that. But first, you got to empty the cup. My Part Warner coach, I'll never forget this day. My Part Warner coach said, y'all all come in here and take a knee right now. We all running there, little kids, and we taking the knee. And he said, I got something to tell y'all. Some of y'all will be in jail. Some of y'all will be selling drugs. Some of y'all will be dead. And we looked around like, we thought it was funny. But come to find out, as I grew up, a lot of those guys ended up dead, in jail, just incarcerated, headed to prison on drugs. So I said, you know what, I gotta do something different. So now when I speak into the next generation, I tell them to take a knee. And I say, you will not go to jail. You will not be on drugs. You will be successful. And I'm asking y'all, how many here today that says that to the next generation? How many of y'all speak life into a dead situation? Ask yourself that. Because see, I'll get to this, but I'm gonna say this. Some of y'all living, but are you really alive? Or are you just living life? I'm gonna talk about 4 things that helped me be successful. So I got 4 downs to score a touchdown. My goal is to score a touchdown, but 4 things that helped me be successful. The first thing is, to be successful, I had to put down the fake ID. Everybody know what a fake ID is. A picture of you, but everything on there is a lie. And we know what a real ID is, a picture of you, but everything on there is true. Everybody is toting a fake ID. The question is you tapping into it? Is that all you use? See, I tapped into my fake ID at 11 years old. My mom just started letting me go outside. My dad said, let the boy go play. She didn't realize that the neighborhood was getting bad and getting drug infested and things of that nature. So I go to the park on the way home, I got bullied. All I had to do was talk to my parents. But instead, I went in my room and I said, you know what? I'm not gonna let anyone ever do that to me again. From that day, I thought I had to do this. I thought I had to start carrying guns, so I started carrying guns. I thought I had to sell drugs to be in, so I started selling drugs. Next thing you know, it was shootouts. You guys, I tapped into my fake ID to the point where I almost lost a dream of being in the NFL and I almost lost my life. I found myself incarcerated at 15 years old. And when I walk through those jail cells, I can smell the stink socks. It became a reality more than just seeing it on TV. I see the paint chipping from the walls. And when I got in there, I knew I didn't belong here. I was in there for almost a year because I tapped into my fake ID. And I'm asking you today, if you got a fake ID, you may not be living it on that level, but you may be living it on a smaller scale. I'm asking you to check your ID and put down your fake ID and pick up your real ID, because we haven't seen the real you yet. And the question is, when you leave here today, you got to ask yourself, only you can answer this question: who am I? Not who I want to be, not who I see on social media, not who I look at on the internet or in magazines, but who am I? When will I see the real me? Because the real you, people are waiting to tap into. And if you never see the real you, that's less tapping. And then you got to put on a persona. You got to put on this fakeness. I want you to put down that fake ID today. I ask you this: what bars are holding you back? I had physical bars holding me back from being successful. I need you to write down and understand what bars are holding you back, because you don't know what bars are holding you back. They'll continue to hold you back. There won't be a key to open those bars. What bars are holding you back? What bars are holding you back being successful? You won't get up early enough? You won't eat healthy? We all can raise our hand to that. Because I'm hungry, I want something right now. What is it? What bars are holding you back? Because if you never recognize the bars that's holding you back, the key will never come to open that bar. The key will never come if you don't recognize the bars that are holding you back. I do this thing, and I like to tell nuggets. And I like to take this football. You see, I got a Nerf. I don't want to hurt nobody, you know. It's a Nerf. And when I throw you the ball, I'm going to ask you a question. Even if you drop the ball, I ain't going to be mad. I dropped some balls too. I got yelled at. Coach Gruden cussed me out all the time. Let me see.
How did I know that was?
What do you have to do to be great? What do you think you have to do to be great?
More time.
More time.
More time. Yeah.
It's no wrong or right answer. I'm going to add to that. Find out what's around you and use it. A lot of people have success and things that are taken to the next level all around them, but they don't tap into it and use it. I remember I got to the Buccaneers, and Coach Dungy said, "Let me meet with you." He said, "I see your record. You can't get in no trouble here. Do you hear me, young man? I'm going to give you an opportunity, but it's not really me giving you an opportunity. God is giving you another opportunity." I said, "Whoa, okay." And I said, "Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. I'm going to give it my all." And he said this to me. He said, "I'm going to switch your position." I said, "What?" You buttered me up for that one, huh? He switched my position from running back, what I played all my life, to wide receiver. And so I had to realize what was around me to be successful. So I had Keyshawn Johnson right here that was pretty big like me. I had Joey Galloway, who had speed like me. Then I had Keenan McCardell. So I looked around and I went for the more popular. So I said, I'm gonna look at Keyshawn Johnson. He's popular. I'm gonna look at Joey Galloway because he's the fastest, one of the fastest in the NFL. So I learned from them two. I left Keenan out. And I realized as I started looking at these two, I never paid attention to Keenan until I realized what he had. He was the most polished route runner, he knew everything. He was better than Joey all around. He was better than Keyshawn. But I ignored him because he wasn't popular, because he wasn't famous. So it's the very thing that you think not popular and famous that'll take you to the next level. And when I started looking at Keenan McCardell, my game went to the next level. So if you want to be successful, that nugget is what I'm saying. If you want to be great, The small things around you is right there. You just got to notice it. You can't look for the most popular thing because then you look over the small things. And it's the small things that you stand on that help you be successful. You can throw that back. Let's see if I can catch. Okay, I'm okay. I'm all right. Okay. Thank you. I went to this, I do pro camps, and it's a place where we have kids come and they pay all this money. So I did Reggie Bush, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, I do all their camps, and I did their camps, Ryan, Matt Ryan, and I remember one of the camps, and I went to the owner and I say, listen, man, you got all these kids paying like $300. It's a lot of kids that can't afford this. And I said, they missing out on seeing their hero. And he said, so what you suggest? I say, we sponsor and bring in about 100 kids that can't afford it. We let them join the camp too. He said, well, it's hard, Frank, for me to do that because these kids pay like $200, $300. I say, well, I'll do it. And you put them on another field, I'll run the camp over there, and you just bring whoever our star players, you just bring them over and let them talk to the kids, then go back over there. So he allowed me to do that. He said, I'm gonna try, but I don't know. And the first one we did, I was in Chicago, and I had about 100 kids, and I'm running them through drills, and then we sat down and talked, and one kid just said, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm like, excuse me, what do you want to do? I don't want to sell drugs anymore. I said, whoa. Another kid raised his hand and said, can I say something? He said, I don't want to carry a gun no more, but I don't know what to do. The owner of the company was listening. These kids came up to me and said, can you help me, please? Like that. That's what you call making a difference. A word that you can say can change a kid's life, can motivate a kid to make better decisions. And I said, you know what? I'm doing the right thing here. This is what I'm called to do. Ask yourself, what are you called to do other than your profession? Your profession is just a piece of you. It's not all of you. And see, sometimes we always get caught up and give our profession all of us. That's why when it fails or you get let go, you lose everything. You know how many NFL players I had to tell them to put the gun down, don't kill themselves? I'm a life coach and mentor to NFL players, NBA. You know how many of them I had to tell, put that gun down. Your profession was just a part of you, it's not all of you. You have been deceived to make you think that you're just an NFL player. You got a long life. You can't play NFL long. It's only 3 years, guaranteed. That's the average number. You got a whole life to live. You may not be putting a gun to your head, but you may be making the wrong decisions over and over again and find yourself stagnant because you're putting yourself in the wrong positions. I told that young man, I said, son, pain won't kill you. He said, what you mean? I said, pain won't kill you, giving up will. Pain won't kill you because you can endure pain, but giving up will. I told him also, I said, it don't matter who you come through, it matters who you come from. I don't know how many of y'all caught that. It don't matter who you come through, it matters who you come from. Because he started telling me, my mom ain't around, my dad. And I say, listen, I understand, but what day are you going to stand up and say, I can't let that stop me no more? What day did you're going to stand up on your 10 toes and say, I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to worry about who I came through. I got to find something bigger than myself and see who I came from so I can make a difference in my life. Until you do that, you will use that as an excuse every time. I stood back on a kick return. I think we was playing New England. And I was standing back on a kick return, and I was just like, man, the crowd just clapping. I'm like, whoa, this feels good. Say, man, well, I feel like, man, I don't know. I caught the ball, scored a touchdown, and after I scored the touchdown, you guys, I went to the sideline, and I just was looking around. I couldn't even hear myself think. And I say, man, but I noticed something. The minute I got hurt, they put another guy back there in my position. And they was clapping the same way. ain't me. I'm over here. Giving him all that attention. He gonna take my spot. And I said, you know what? Fan is short for fantasy. Fan is short for fantasy. So just like they was clapping for me, they was living a fantasy through me. When I got hurt, they live a fantasy through somebody else. Why do you say that, Frank? Because you cannot allow anyone to live a fantasy through you. Because when someone starts living a fantasy through you, now they think they control you. So you have to start thinking, is this person a fan? Because if they're living a fantasy through you, now it takes you farther away from your dreams. Because now you gotta spend time trying to show them something and spend time pleasing them, spend time doing this for them. And the farther away you're moving away from your dreams. Do not let anybody live a fantasy through you. So number one, I talked about put down that fake ID. Write down some stuff that you believe that have become fake in your life. This is between you, yourself, and you. Write this down and see what it is that you think you're being fake about. Be honest with yourself. Because you can't be honest with yourself. There's no way you're going to be successful and get to the highest point. There's only 1% that makes it to the NFL. You see all these young men out here think they're going to go to the NFL. 1%. And I cut that in half because I had a record. I was on a 0.5%. Where are you trying to go? What you trying to do? Put down that fake ID. That's number one. Number two, the second point I'm gonna make is, I had to be in the right position for success. I had to posture myself. To be successful, you gotta be in the right position. I remember I was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Peyton called me. Who knows Peyton Manning? You heard of that guy before? Okay. One of the best quarterbacks that ever did it. I would say the best quarterback that ever did it. There's no one that changed the game like that guy did. When you, man, that guy, you ask any defense who they'd rather face, who they would not want to face. Peyton Manning's name will be the top of the list. He revolutionized the game with how he audibles, how he knows what's coming. You could not trick this guy. And he say, Frank, you in shape? I say, man, come on, man, you're talking to me. What you need? He say, come down here and I need you to catch for me. He said, well, bring another quarterback now, so you need to be in shape. I say, man, my legs are ready. I got down there, walked on the field, I seen Tom Brady walking out with me. I say, woo! Okay, gonna be a lot of running today. I got down there, but I noticed something, you guys, about the two guys. I say, man, I'm finna catch with two of the best quarterbacks that ever played this game. Who can say that? And I said, I want to know which one is better. You know, I'm getting curious. So I noticed Peyton. He say, Frank, I need you right there. Not 2 yards to the left, not 2 yards right. Every time you're in that position, you're going to get the ball. On time, on the money. I said, okay, Peyton. Tom say, just get in the area, I got you. I'm like, okay. Every time I was in the right position, that ball got there on time, right in my hands. Every time I was in the wrong position, the ball hit the ground. The reason why I say that is a lot of times, you guys, you're in the wrong position. And you have people throwing you passes to be successful. But because you're in the wrong position, you drop the ball. When you leave here today, I need you to put yourself in the right position for success. I need you to put yourself in the right position for success. This is how I did it. 2 o'clock in the morning. I never forget. I was in college. My friend say, hey, come on, let's go out. I say, nah, man, I'm not trying to do that. So I made a deal with myself. I said, every time a friend called, I got to go work out somewhere. Because I'm finna show not only them, but just so they know, just because they calling me and trying to interrupt me from being successful, I'm going to do something to make myself better. So they was calling 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. You know what I did? I got up, got my headphones, went to the track and went and worked out 2 in the morning. They called 12 at night. I get up, go to the track, go to the field, I'm out there, dog, working out. When you ask me how bad I want it, that ought to tell you, I wanted success. You got to ask yourself how bad you want it, because then that's going to help you get in the right position. I remember being in the wrong position too. I got drafted by the Chicago Bears, and I didn't take it serious. I was all excited to go to the NFL. Woo, I heard a lot about the NFL. Man, I was partying like no one else. And we would have practice 7 in the morning, and I would be coming in at 6 in the morning. And after about a month, it was time to cut. They had to trim down the roster. I called my agent. I said, hey, you better get down here. I think I'm going to be on that list. He said, how? They drafted you? You're the fastest? You're doing good? I said, man, I've been messing up a lot. I've been not knowing my plays, protections and stuff like that, because I didn't study for it, because I just thought I would know football. It's easy. And I said, get down here. He got down here. He came down. And sure enough, they called me and said, Frank, we're going to let you go and put you on the practice squad. And I said, man. Then I got a call from Coach Dungy. He said, hey, we want to bring you to Tampa. See, I had another opportunity. But when you take yourself out of the right position, there's nothing left that you can tap into. Because the wrong position is not your life, it's somebody else's. The right position has everything you need in it to be successful. Every time I was there where Peyton told me, everything I needed was right there. Every time I was out of position, I was in somebody else's lane. Ask yourself, are you walking in somebody else's position? Ask yourself tonight, am I walking in somebody else's position, or is this my position? I remember I got so serious about not being late when I go out. Because I didn't stop going out. When I got to Tampa, I was like, whoa, I'm back home. But I got smart. I would go, after I go out, I would go straight to the facility, because we have the code. And I would go sleep on the couch in the facility to make sure I was never late. So I did what it takes to make sure I stayed in the right position. I'm gonna do another nugget. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Like, that boy said he played receiver, he can't even hold on to the ball. Let's see here. You gotta be looking now. You gotta be paying attention. Oh, he stole your ball! Oh! No, it's good, it's good, it's good. What do you think greatness means? What do you define as greatness? It's no wrong or right answer. Personal satisfaction. I like it. I'm gonna add on to it. Greatness. When I found out, one of the things that made me realize what greatness was, it was a lot of the small things that all added up to big things that made greatness come to fruition. Because a lot of series of great decisions is the gateway to success. I started making little good decisions. They start building up, and it took me to greatness. At first I was just great, but I started noticing every little thing, every little decision. Hey, should I wear these shoes or wear this? Every little decision I thought about. Should I be hanging out over here, or should I be hanging out over there? Should I be reading, or should I be on social media for 30 minutes? And it started adding up. And when it add up, it becomes greatness now. You're opening up the gateway to greatness. You're beginning to tap into greatness. But if you're doing the same thing expecting a different result, that's insane. You gotta shake it up. So I even told, I was sitting down with some, I had to speak with these millionaires and billionaires. And I never said a word, you guys, every time I went in a meeting. They knew I knew the answers. I sat down and said, I'm not gonna talk. First meeting, didn't talk. Second meeting, came back the next month, didn't say a word. The third meeting, didn't say a word. The fourth meeting, finally they said, I had someone pull me aside and say, Frank, I brought you here because you know. I said, when you're around people that's billionaires and millionaires, you be quiet and you learn. So you know what I did? The reason why I was quiet, because I studied each one of them. And I wrote down key stuff from each one of them, so when it was time for me to speak, I knew them personally. So the fourth time came around, Mr. Murphy, you want to say something? I said, sure. I pointed at each one of them and had something to say to each one of them. You know why? Because I kept my mouth shut. I didn't have to prove a point. The point of me being quiet and educating myself through what they're saying got me prepared for that opportunity. So it was the little things that I did. And the other people that got invited in the room sat down, they was ready to talk to me. They started talking, trying to prove they should be there. Yeah, I shouldn't be here. You know, I do this, I do that, And I'm like, Ask yourself, what's the little things that you are putting in place to get you to greatness? What's the little things that you're doing that will add up to the big things that you're looking to accomplish that'll push you to greatness? You can throw it back. Let's see, can I catch? You can throw. I can tell you can throw. I can tell. Oh, whoa, okay. That's why I got Nerf, y'all, and something small so I won't drop it. You guys, I just really didn't plan nothing. I wrote some stuff down last night. I got in at 12, just for y'all, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, anytime. And I remember I wanted it so bad. And the reason why I keep telling you these stories, because you need to know I didn't just walk into success. I earned it. I made success look me in the eye and give it to me. Success could not leave from looking me in the eye till it gave me what I earned. You will not get what you didn't earn. You might get some little crumbs here and there to get you hyped, but it's not going to be fulfilling because you didn't earn it. I was working out so hard, you guys. This is how bad I wanted. I was working out so hard at home when I got home for the off season that I had full body cramps and I almost died. I locked up from around here all the way down to my toes. And my mom, you know, being the spiritual woman she is, instead of her giving me water and throwing water, she's throwing oil. Jesus, help him! I'm like, I need water! She's throwing oil on me, putting crosses on me. You're gonna be okay, baby. I'm not. Water! And you guys, if you want it, you will go get it. Ask yourself, do you want it? Do you want to be the best-selling broker, the best-selling agent? What is it that you want? Because when they tell you you can't, that's a key right there telling you this may be what you need to try. Do you want it? I also remember going to the park, and these guys was just so much talented than me. It was embarrassing. I go up there and play basketball, and these guys just like be killing me, and I never get picked. They get picked, my friends get picked, and I'm standing on the sideline. We'll take him. I was the kid like, what about me? And I noticed something. I said, you know what? This got to stop. So when they would leave the park, I would go hide in the little cone of the bushes, and when they all leave, I go back to the park and practice. I did that for about 3 weeks, non-stop. And next thing you know, I was getting picked before them. And they say, man, what you been doing? Working in the dark. What you do in the dark is what matters, not what I see you doing now. Will you work in the dark? What people can't see is the most important thing, because what they can't see, they can't stop. So what I started doing is doing it in the dark. In the dark means by yourself. See, a lot of us can't do anything by ourselves. That's why we'll never find success. Because we got to have 5 people with us. We got to have 2 people with us. We got to have somebody cheering us on. If what you do in the dark, I told my son, he plays football, I said, what you do in the dark when I'm not around is what's going to make you successful. Yeah, you can work hard when you see me walk up and I see you, I used to come to his practice. As soon as he peek over there and see me over there, he started just going crazy, working hard and running around. And his team looking at him like, what's wrong with you? Oh, your dad's here. That's what it is. And I say, son, it ain't what you do when the coach watching that's going to determine your success. It's what you do when the coach not watching. What you do in the dark will come to the light. Number 3. So the first one was put down that fake ID to be successful. That's what I had to do. Number 2, you had to put yourself in the right position to be successful. You gotta put yourself in the right position to be successful. And number 3, I'm on 3rd down now. I got 4 downs for this touchdown. 3rd down, I had to have a vision to be successful. I had to vision my success. Without a vision, you will struggle. See, a lot of us struggle and trip, fall, give up, and the reason why, because you have no vision. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing. So you start becoming a copy machine. Oh, I'm gonna copy them because it looks popular. I'm gonna copy them because they made this much money. I told another audience I was with, don't never forget it's a rearview mirror. And that rearview mirror is a blind spot. You don't know what people did to get where they at. It's a blind spot. So you go try to copy them, you never seen the blind spot. So you know from this point, you gotta have a vision of your life to be successful. Vision brings purpose, I wrote this. And purpose brings you an assignment, and your assignment brings life to your vision. I'm gonna read it again. Vision brings purpose, and purpose brings your assignment, and your assignment brings life to that vision. I remember being in jail when I walked in, you guys, and I sat down and, I was just like, man, I'm seeing fights. I have to change my whole personality. I had to become something that I never thought I could become to survive. I had to change my whole demeanor. And I would go to rec. They take you to rec and play basketball, and I'm dunking, I'm just playing. And the guard, the next time we came to rec, he brought in a coach to look at from the stand. And they told me to stay back. And this coach said, listen, I don't know what you in here for, but if you ever get out, I'll give you a full ride to our private school. And I was like, whoa. He said, you got talent, man. You can be an NFL or NBA player. That's all I needed, you guys, one word. One word changed my life. I didn't have nobody that gave me anything like that. There's kids walking around that don't get no good words. That was the first word that somebody said, I can be something. So I went back to my cell. I started doing push-ups every day, sit-ups every day, squatting the mat. They said, this boy done lost his mind. They was like, what are you doing? I say, man, I'm going to the NFL. They say, boy, you in jail. How you going to the NFL? I said, I don't know, but I'm going to the NFL. Guess where I ended up at? In the NFL. But you see where it started at? It started from one word that I believe behind bars, and I had every reason not to do anything. We didn't have weights. I did everything I could with what I had to keep my dream alive. Are you willing to do that? I squatted the mat, you guys. I did push-ups and sit-ups and dips. I jogged around the cell. I looked at crazy. That's what I did. I looked at crazy. But now guess what? That same jail got a picture of me up there. You're going to look crazy. You're going to look silly when you're trying to fulfill a dream that no one else can see but you. Many nights, I cried in that cell. When those doors shut, clink, I cried. But when they opened, I was ready to go to work again. Ask yourself, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do? My mom told me this. My mom would go to bed and leave me up watching the game late at night. I never forget Notre Dame. And I was sitting there, and I'm telling you how I vision this now, and I'm telling you, if you want to be successful, you vision it. And I sat right there and watched that game. When the game was over, I implemented what they did. My mom and dad would sleep. I snuck out the house, got in the middle of the street, threw the ball up to myself, talking to myself in the middle of the night. Oh, he went left, he went out and scored, Frank Murphy. I'll go back and do it again. Oh, Frank Murphy catch the ball. I'm outside in the middle of the night in the middle of the street. I hear my door open, and my mom and dad, hey! I'm like, uh-oh. Okay, I'm finna get in trouble. But they didn't kill my dream. They say, son, it's unsafe out here at night, son. We love you, won't let it happen to you. But don't do that again. But keep dreaming. And I walked in the room and I realized we're killing a lot of people's dreams. And I want to ask y'all today, when you run into a young person, I want you to bring your dream to life. Young man, young woman, what you want to do with yourself? You know what? You're going to do that. Just those words. Remember, all the coach told me, that was the first time I heard I could be something. He said, I think you'll become an NFL player. That's all you have to do. Give them an opportunity to be encouraged about their life when hard times are happening. You know what I did? Before I got incarcerated, my mom tried to keep me from hanging around certain kids, because a lot of them didn't have both parents like I did. So they looked at me different, kind of. And I remember I had a best friend, his mom wouldn't come home for 3 or 4 days because she was on drugs. So he didn't eat. So they would sit there and never eat. I would come to their house, like, oh, it kind of smells in here. Y'all didn't eat? I say, I tell you what, come to my house at 6 o'clock. We eat dinner every day at 6 o'clock. My mom won't have a clue. Next thing you know, for a whole week, I got a line of guys at my mama's house. Mama was like, wait, why they always come around here at 6 when we're about to eat? What's going on? I'm like, they just hungry, I don't know. Then my mom caught me giving clothes. They didn't have clothes. So I would sneak my clothes out the back window, jackets and stuff like that. And one day, my friend walked over and forgot he had on a jacket. Mom was like, hey, what you doing with that jacket? I was like, Mom, I don't know how he got it, I don't know. But I'm showing you my heart. I was doing this at an early age, and I'm asking you guys, what are you doing for your community? Because when that pipe busts, we all get wet. Remember that. When the pipe busts, you may say like, oh, Frank, I ain't got to worry about that. I'm in the gated community too. I stay in a gated community. I stay in $1 million homes. And I can easily sit back there and say, it won't mess with me. But if the pipe busts, we all get wet. You know why? Because you got kids. Most importantly, you're going to have grandkids. What are you doing to stop them from getting wet? Because it's gonna happen. What part are you playing when your grandkid look you in your face and say, Papa, Mama, they did this over here, or they hurt this person, or this going on that young man. What did you do? Did you help out Papa? What you gonna? Come on. We all got an assignment. Will you accept your assignment? Because without your assignment, we're incomplete. I remember you guys, and I'm just telling you some stuff. I went to Garden City Community College. They told me, you know, when I got out from high school, I had 1 year left. I couldn't go to a big school. South Carolina said, listen, we're gonna send you to a junior college. You got a record, you've been in trouble. We're gonna send you to junior college, you don't have the grades. I went back to high school. I was All-American, runner-up Mr. Florida in 1 year. MVP of my team. When I went to junior college, my first junior college was in Mississippi, Itawamba. And that residue followed me, you guys. You know how when you paint and all those spots get on you, but you go take a shower and you still see 1 or 2 spots somewhere? That's called residue. So I still had residue on me from the streets and from being incarcerated. So I went to that college in Mississippi. I said, I ain't gonna get in no trouble. I ended up getting in trouble again. I ended up started selling drugs on campus. I ended up carrying guns again. I got shot at. And the coach like, we took this kid, he got 5 years probation and we still took him, he gotta go. So my mom called and was crying and said, Coach, if you send him home, he'll be dead. Could you please help him and send him somewhere for me, please? He said, I think I got one more school that may take him. He called Garden City, Kansas, and the coach said, I'll take him. We'll try to work it out. I went to Garden City, Kansas, and I said, man, I don't want to get in no trouble. I'm going to be good. But the residue followed me. I got to Garden City, it wasn't long before I was selling drugs again on campus, carrying guns again. Got into it. Shootouts occurred. I'm incarcerated. And I already went to trial one time, you guys, and I won trial. That's the whole reason for how I got out from high school. Well, I took it to trial again and won trial again. So you tell me that I don't supposed to be standing right here, I'll tell you, you're lying. I'm here for a reason. I'm here for a purpose. And it's to save our next generation. It's to empower our next generation. How can I tell God no? How? It's not my time no more. It's his time. And his time tells me I gotta go save as many lives as I can. I gotta motivate so their purpose won't go to the graveyard like mine almost did. And you guys, when I got to that school, I got kicked out because I got incarcerated. So I walked back on campus. The news is a small town. So the news, so nobody wanted to talk to me. Nobody spoke to me. The coaches wouldn't talk to me no more. They said, listen. I said, hey, can I work out, coach? They would just turn their head and walk off. It's like, whoa, okay. So the president said, hey, we're not going to kick you out of school because you can sue us because you haven't been found guilty yet. You're going to trial. But you need to work on your education. You got an 0.0.0 point. Can we do something about that first? I was like, yeah, I can do something. You guys, I locked in and got it up to a 3.2. And I began to walk that hall, and nobody would speak to me. I go the same way with my backpack. And one day, someone said, young man. I'm like, who is that? It was the janitor. Young man, how you doing? I said, well, I'm doing okay. Nobody don't really speak to me, but I'm glad to hear your voice, She was like, I don't know who you are, but you walk this way every day, and every time I see you, it's a light over your head. And God told me to tell you you're going to change the world. And you're going to change this team, this football team, in no time. I say, okay, stop right there. I'm going to trial next week, and I could be gone for 15 years. Also, I'm not on the team. The team don't even like me, so lady, I don't know what you're talking about. She say, hold up, I'm just telling you what God told me to tell you. She say, now, young man, will you go to church with me? I say, oh, you sound like my mama. I said, but you know what? I ain't got no friends. I ain't got nothing else to do. I just sit in my room. I say, sure, I'll go with you. That janitor mentored me when nobody else would. That was my first mentor. She seen a diamond when it wasn't even shining. He wasn't a coach. They only looked at me like athletic ability. It was a woman, a janitor, an old woman, lady that seen a diamond in me and took me to her house and talked to me and mentored me. She didn't see me shining. I was looking like a straight thug and criminal at that time. She mentored me, and I'll never forget it. And I'm asking you guys, stop looking at titles. It may not be some big millionaire company that come after you. It may not be some millionaire investor. It may be the very person you least expect to change your life. Stop putting titles as priority and put people as priority. If I would have looked at her because she was the janitor and say, lady, just leave me alone, I would not be standing here today. Story moves on. I go to trial. I win trial. I get out. I'm done. I go back to coach and say, coach, my charges are gone. Can I play? He's like, we already got a star running back, and he scored 30 touchdowns last year. We really don't need you, but we got to let you try out for the team. I went home that summer, and you guys, I took a Florida State workout book and printed it out. I got a job for the first time so I wouldn't go back to the streets. And I worked that job. When I got off that job, I went to the football field every single day and worked out off a workout that I printed offline. offline. I get a call from the coach and he says, hey, I'm thinking he's gonna say, don't come back. He said, hey, you been working out? I say, have I? Coach, I know you got to start running back, but I'm ready. He said, I hope so, because they just kicked him out of school. I was like, really? I say, oh, okay. But what if I wasn't working out? What if I was just sitting around saying, they don't like me and they already got a star running back, I'm not gonna make the team? I went back to that school, you guys, I took them to the national championship. I was the Heisman Trophy winner in junior college. I went to the Junior College Hall of Fame, nominated the #1 recruit in the nation. I was recruited by Florida State. For the first time they even touched they wanted a junior college player. I'm saying all to say that Miss Cheryl, what she said came to reality. I took that team to the national championship farther they could ever go. What Miss Cheryl say, I'm changing the world. I'm changing the world right now in the juvenile system. Never been done. You gotta find someone around you that can push those buttons and find your ghosts and wake them up. We have ghosts that's sleeping. You gotta find that person gonna help wake that ghost up so you can go be successful. Who is your janitor? Who is your janitor? Write down who your janitors are. And you need to lean on them, not just in bad times when they get tough. Lean on them in the good times as well. Don't bring your past into your presence to destroy your future. I'm gonna say it again. Don't bring your past hurt into your presence, your right now, to destroy your future. Every time I start thinking about what happened and who fault it was, I bring it to my presence, it destroys my opportunities and my future. No, leave your past in your past. Here's another nugget. I'm gonna try to throw kind of far. You know, my arm. No. Let me see. Everybody looking. Remember, you better get the stuff out of your hand. I'm just, you better get ready. Here's a nugget. I'm gonna ask both of y'all. What's holding you back from being successful? What do you think is holding you back from being successful? What do you think holding you back? Name one thing that you think is holding you back from being successful. Experience. Okay, that's good. What about you? Having a mentor? Mental.
Yes.
Mental. Experience, mental. You feel like that's holding you back from being successful. I'm gonna say this to everybody. It's called a disability, is what they're saying. When the disability becomes not important, that's when you will be successful. When the disability is not more important than the goals. You gotta know your disabilities, but you can't sit in your disabilities. Your disabilities is to give you a heads up what you need to improve on. They're not for you to wallow in and use as an excuse. I'm not saying y'all doing that, but I have met a lot of millionaires that wasn't millionaires until they got this down pat. When your disabilities are no longer important than the goal, that's the nugget. So if it's experience is one of your disabilities, that's great to know, but now what's the plan? What's the plan for that disability? Because if you don't have a plan for that disability, you fail. What is the plan for your disabilities? Oh, we coming down to the end here. I remember you guys coached Dungy, and he got fired. It's a hard day. It's a hard day for the Buccaneer Nation. We knew, we played Philly, they beat us again, they was beating us every time before we can, stopping us go to the playoff, or the first round. We knew somebody was gonna get fired, but we knew it was gonna be Coach Dungy. So we got back to the facility that night, and we woke up, that morning, and it was just pouring down rain. And Coach Dungy got fired. It shocked Tampa, because our team was horrible before he got there. He built that team. I mean, when he built the team, you guys, he built the team with a Warren Sapp at that D-line, one of the best D-linemen that ever played a game. And you know what? I tell people he's the best D-lineman in my opinion because they throw the ball 80% of the time now. Think how many sacks he would have had. It was more of a muscle game back then where they run the ball more. And he still led the NFL in sacks. He had a Derek Brooks, was one of my mentors. Character and integrity. And when Derek speak, you listen. He was known as the governor because he gets stuff done. Rondé Barber, Simeon Rice, John Lynch, one of the hardest hitters you ever gonna meet. We had that team. Mike Allstott, one of the most hardest runners that you'll ever see. We had a team that was built by a Hall of Fame coach, and he got let go. And I never forget that transition was hard because a new guy was coming in, and he's known to be Chucky, which is total opposite personalities. You got a guy that talk to you and understand each man and get the most out of you, and Coach Dungy don't play. If you don't get it done, he replace you. But he's not gonna yell, he's not gonna scream. And he's the same way. I remember a lot of people got in trouble for leaving the night before the game, going out. And I say, uh-oh, Coach Dungy's finna go off. And I just knew we finna see the real Coach Dungy, at least I thought. He was the same guy all the time. He didn't yell, he didn't cuss. He taught me what character and integrity is. He taught me as a man, I can be like this and still be okay and be liked. I don't have to be the loudest because I realize the most emptiest thing is always the loudest. Don't be the loudest. And when Coach Dungy left and Coach Gruden came in, it was a total different ball game. Because just the way he motivated. I'll never say nothing bad about Coach Gruden because he gave me an opportunity to play. But he was just totally different. He would yell till he turned red. He would call you every name in the book until you get it. He would take the life out of players if they really didn't want to be there. But one thing I can say about Chucky, he knew football. He knew football. And he gave me an opportunity, so I always take my hat off to him. And I'll never forget when Chucky looked at me and said, man, this is my first time in this stadium, Frank. First game. It's a preseason, but it's my first game, man. It would be nice if you could run this kickback for me. I would be so excited, man. It'd be the first time walking in the stadium and you run a kickback. I say, you got it. I'm thinking like, oh, I hope I can. I get back there against Miami and I run a 95-yard kickoff return back. And I walk past coach, I say, that's good enough? So when I'm telling you these things, there's gonna be some adjustments you're gonna have to make in life. And it's called flexibility. A lot of people are not successful because they're not flexible. I meet a lot of people, hey man, just change this up. I'm looking at their business. Say, change that up, add that right there. I've been doing this way for 20 years. But that's why you call me and that's why your numbers are down. Because you've been doing the same thing 20 years. Change that right there. If you're not flexible, you will never be successful. Remain flexible, teachable, coachable. If you're not coachable, there's no improvement that can happen in the things that you're trying to accomplish. Last one, and we're good. We scored a touchdown. Last one, we're on number 4. Number 1 was what? Put down what? Fake ID. Number 2 was what? Get in what? Right position. Number 3 was what? Vision. You gotta have a vision to be successful. Number 4, fourth down.
I'm ready.
I had to build myself up to be successful. It's called self-motivation. And that's what a lot of us don't have. Self-correction, what a lot of us won't do. Self. NFL scout told me, I was standing right here, y'all, and they make the NFL, they make you take off your clothes and stand in the middle, all the scouts, all of them in the room watch you. So this guy went before me, they was all raving about him. I'm like, man, that guy ain't all that. You know, I'm looking at myself, I'm like, I got more muscles than him, I'm a little better than him, I'm ready. And they say, Frank Murphy, I walk out, I stand here. They looking to see if there's any injuries and scars, no, just making sure you know, and they weren't saying anything. Like, They kept looking up and down. And they look up and down at their paper and they'll look back up. What you think they was looking at? My record,
Yeah.
my resume. I left a trail for somebody else to look at me negative. And I'm telling you, stop leaving a trail that leads to your demise. They begin to look at me and they say, I don't think we can draft you. I never forget that scout looked me in the face. I don't think we can draft you, son. And I went home and my mom said, you ready for the draft? I say, Mom, they don't really like me like that. She said, cut it out. Stop it right there. Remember this, son. What God got for you, no man can take it away.
Amen.
I said, okay, Mom, here you go with that Bible stuff again. I needed it. Oh man, my mom she's awesome, man. I would not be here without my mom. And you know, I'm a dad too. You know, dads, we don't get that much props. Let's just keep it real. You know, they're like, oh, that's dad, whatever, okay. I'm like, son, I'm the reason you here. They're like, no, mom's the one. Man, I would not be here without my mom prayers. That woman, man, she constantly, and still to this day, when I got on the plane, I called and say, hey, I'm going to do a speaking engagement. Oh, you are? Okay, son. Dear Lord, thank you right now for my son. I'm like, she already started praying when I'm on the plane. I'm like, oh, okay. I would not be here without her. And I just wanted to say that because moms, thank you. Dads, I got to give us props too. Thank you. We have to look in the mirror though and remember this. The mirror is not just to reflect what you see, it's to correct what you see. I'm gonna say it again. The mirror is not just to reflect what you see, which means your hair messed up, you need to wash your face. You're gonna correct that before you go outside, at least I hope. I'm asking you to look in the self mirror and see what's reflecting back in your business as a person. And remember that it's not just reflecting back for you to leave it there, it's for you to correct what you see. As I come to a close, I remember playing for the Miami Dolphins. And we have a room by ourselves. We don't room, they put us in rooms by ourselves. So this particular time, they was like, oh, they made a mistake. They overbooked the hotel. Y'all got a room up. I'm like, room up? Man, I don't want nobody in no room. Y'all getting ready tonight for the game. I want to be by myself, act like I'm catching balls, jump across the bed, so I don't look crazy to the guy. And I walk around and talk to myself and study my plays. Okay, if he do this, I'm gonna go right, I'm gonna go left. And you guys, I was so bothered that I had to have a roommate. So I get to the room and I walk in the room. He got my side of the bed, my favorite bed. I like to be on by the wall. He already taking this stuff out. I'm mad. I'm like, okay. Threw my stuff on the bed. I'm taking my stuff out, and I noticed he kept staring. So I'm like, this is weird. Like, this dude keep looking at me. So finally I said, hey man, you okay? He's like, yeah man, I just want to ask you. I see how people look at you in the locker room. You ain't even no star player, but people always talking to you. You know, Zach Thomas Zach is always talking to you. Jason Taylor always asking you questions, and I didn't notice that. I'm a leader, but I didn't notice that. And he said, how did you do it? I said, how did I do what? He said, how did you overcome all this stuff? I read a story about you. He said, Frank, I'm on cocaine every day and I need your help. But yet I was mad, and here's God giving me a divine appointment to help somebody. And I I was hurt. I was like, man, how could I be so worried about this dang football game and this guy? So I started mentoring him. And I'll never forget, you guys, his kids ran up to me about a year later, holding my leg. His wife ran up to me and gave me a hug that I knew it was a hug of love. Thank you. And I'm like, man, this is what I'm called to do. I was getting ready to go to Canada. Well, I went to Canada. They say, we want to give you a contract in Canada, Frank, to play. And I said, okay, man, that sounds good. So I went in, got on the plane, went to Canada. It's a lot going on. I got to get through this, get through that. I'm like, man, I get to the hotel room with all the other players. And I get in my room and I sit on the bed and I get a call. It's the GM. He said, Frank, will you take a pay cut? I said, you could have called me when I was back in the States to tell me that. And I'm like, no, I'm not taking a pay cut. I led the team, I'm not taking a pay cut. They say, well, we're gonna have to let you go. I'm like, I was angry. I just got here. Why? And I started to think, and I heard that voice say, get the attention off yourself and see who needs your help. So I walked around the hotel as guys were walking in, other players say, hey, you okay? Hey, you okay, brother? How you doing? And everybody was okay. I was like, man, I guess I'm not needed. So the limo pulled up and it's time for me to go. I get in the limo and he said, man, we just dropped you off. I said, I know, man, it ain't work out. He said, that was fast. I said, yep. And I said, as he driving, I said, I don't even know why I'm here. He said, I do. I said, what you mean? He said, I was getting ready to kill myself, but I had to come pick you up. I said, brother, pull over. He said, no, you're gonna be late to your flight and I'll get out, it won't look right, I said, no, pull over. And I stayed in that car with him and mentored him and sat in there. He cried, I cried with him. We talked. I didn't even care about that flight. And I still ended up missing my flight. But see, I'm asking you, will you notice things like that, or are you so busy thinking about yourself? See, when you think about your own success, it cancels out all the people that can help you build a resume to take you where you're supposed to go. Did you get that?
Yeah.
When you think about yourself only, it cancels out the resume builder of other people and other things you can do and help that's building you up to take you where you need to go. Because without no resume, there's no proof. It'll just be you talking. I did this, I did that. You got to make sure you stop bypassing your resume builder because you're so worried about yourself. I wrote this down as I come to a close. I wrote this down. Listen, you don't win because of your name. Your name, I'll take that back. Your name don't owe you anything, but you owe your name everything. Your name don't owe you nothing, but you owe your name, that last name, that first name. I'm here to tell you, when you walk in that room, only you can put definition behind your name. Somebody may can help you and say, hey man, this person here is cool, hey, but nobody can put definition behind your name but you. When you walk out this room, what will people say about you? You owe your name everything, because that's what leaves the trail behind, that you was there. Will they say, oh man, Susie, man, she's so doggone lazy? Will they say that? I'm just saying. Or will they say, man, Susie works hard. Man, Mike, will they say, Mike may be lying all the time. I can't trust him. Or will they say, Mike, no, that guy has character, integrity. I will send 5 people his way to do business with him. What's the definition behind your name? So I want you to go home and I want you to sit there. I want you to say, am I putting the right definition behind my name when I walk in the room and when I exit the room? What will they be saying about me? Potential. We all hear it. Boy, you got potential. You got potential, girl. You got potential. Potential is all you can do, but you haven't did yet. Potential is all you can be, but you haven't became yet. Potential is how far you can go, but you haven't went yet. Potential is just potential till you do something. Will you be a potential all your life? Because if you won't see potential turn into the real until you do something. When you do something, you'll be something. When you be something, you'll have something. Ask yourself, am I still living off potential? They told me, they said, Frank, they told my mom, that guy, he'll never graduate high school, man. He's a loser. Guess what? I did. They say, oh, that Frank, he went college. Oh man, he won't graduate college. Not Frank Murphy. With his background, guess what? I did. They said, oh, what? He's trying to go play football in the NFL. Him, Frank? Nah, he won't. Same guy that we said he'll be dead before he reached 15. That's what they told me. I made it to the NFL. I did. They said, oh, Frank, the one that's writing a book about his life story. He can't do that. Guess what? I did. Oh, the guy that's working on his movie right now in Atlanta. Oh, Frank, that won't happen. Guess what? I did. Oh, the guy that say he's going to help 1 million youth. And he's going to build a program that's never been done to go in the juvenile system, a digital educational curriculum to go in the juvenile and adult prison and jail and community centers. He won't be able to do that. Guess what? I did. I did.